My girlfriend said we should be friends. Then her roommate got my proposal plan instead. After 2 years together, Amber looked me in the eyes and said, we should just be friends. I'm 28, and I had been planning to propose that weekend. The ring was in my drawer, and I had a rooftop table booked at a nice restaurant. I'd even practiced my speech in the mirror. While she said it, she was sealing moving boxes like she'd been ready for this. She kept saying, you mean a lot to me. Then she said, I don't want to lose you. I forced a nod and said, yeah, friends sounds good. Then I carried her last box to her car and went back inside. What she didn't know was I was already writing love texts for my buddy Liam. He'd liked Samantha since college, but he was awful with words. He'd send me screenshots and ask, what do I say? So I'd type the sweet lines, the good mornings, the date ideas, and Samantha was Amber's roommate. So when Amber moved back into that apartment, my secret was suddenly right next to her. Amber insisted we keep meeting for coffee every week, as friends. The first time she brought up Samantha's new guy, my stomach dropped. She leaned in and said, he came out of nowhere. Then she sighed and said, he's so thoughtful. She kept going, he remembers everything she says. Then she snapped, he sends flowers on random Tuesdays. Finally she muttered, it makes me look at my own life and feel dumb. I kept my face straight and said, sounds like a good boyfriend. That night Liam called me and whispered, she loved the flowers. I stared at my phone and said, good job, man. The next week Amber complained again. She said, Samantha never stops smiling. She said, they go on cute dates and she comes home glowing. Then she looked at me and said, it makes me wonder if I gave up something good. I set my cup down and said, you wanted this. I added, I'm not going to beg you to take it back. Her smile twitched, like she wanted to argue but couldn't. Meanwhile, Liam kept leveling up and I kept being the brain. I told him to remember Samantha's favorite snack, to show up on time, to ask about her day, and to stop trying to act cool. He did it all, and Samantha ate it up. Soon they were posting each other online, all happy and public. Amber saw it every day at home. One night she texted me, of course she gets the perfect guy. A couple times Amber tried to get answers out of me. She asked, have you met him? Then she asked, what's his name? I shrugged and said, no idea, even when my phone was buzzing with Liam's texts. Once Amber showed up at coffee late, eyes red, and said, Samantha won't stop talking about this amazing man. Then she asked, was I really that hard to love? I said, don't do this, and changed the subject. A few weeks later, on a lonely Thursday, Amber texted, I think I made a mistake. Then she texted, I miss us. After that she wrote, can we try again? My chest tightened, but I typed back fast, we're friends now. Then I added, friends don't do this. She replied with, okay, and nothing else. And that short word felt like a door slamming. Right after that, Liam told me he wanted to propose. His voice was shaky. He said, I can't mess this up. Then he said, help me make it perfect. I didn't even pause. I opened the plan I'd made for Amber months ago. Same rooftop restaurant, same sunset time, same table number I had begged the host for. I gave Liam the exact speech I'd practiced, and he copied it into his notes. He asked, is this too much? I said, trust me. The only thing I changed was the name. On proposal night, I showed up early and watched the staff light candles at that exact spot. My throat felt tight. Amber was there too, because she was Samantha's maid of honor and had to keep her busy. Amber walked past me in a dress and said, didn't expect to see you here. I just said, small world. Then I stepped back and let it happen. Then Liam got down on one knee. Samantha covered her mouth and started crying. People clapped. The sun dropped behind the buildings, exactly like I'd planned. Liam said the speech I wrote, word for word, steady like it was his own. Samantha said yes. Amber stood a few feet away, frozen. At the party after, Amber followed me near the drink table and grabbed my arm. Her fingers were cold. She asked, did you know he was doing this tonight? I looked at her and said, yeah, I planned it. Her face drained and she asked, you planned the restaurant too? I said, every detail. Then I said, I even wrote his speech. She stared at me and asked, wait, you've been helping him this whole time? Then she asked, with the texts too? I nodded once and said, Liam needed help. I added, I gave it. Her eyes flashed and she whispered, that could have been us. I set my glass down and said, no, you chose friends. She swallowed hard and glanced at Samantha showing off the ring under the lights. I stepped back and said, so be a friend. I said, let her have her moment. Now people are saying I set her up on purpose. Was I wrong?